Hunt, and this is Up Close and Personal. We are live at the World CryptoCon 2019. Now, Up Close and Personal, you see everything here as we walk by. There's a guy on a horse driving by right by.
It's Halloween.
So we are live right on the floor of World CryptoCon 2019. Up Close and Personal is brought to you by Dunamis Global Technology. They are powered to pay. Now, my guest today is somebody that probably one of the top 5 or 6 women in all of the crypto space. She is absolutely incredible. Her name is Michelle. And Michelle, I can't say her. How do you say her last name?
Dr. M.
Dr. M.
Dr. M.
Dr. M.
I think people know me like that.
So we call her Doctor. She is the president of Impact Institute Digital for the economy, for the digital economy.
Yes.
Okay.
And impact stems from innovation management and policy accelerated with communication technologies.
Okay. So Doctor, let's talk a little bit about what the Impact Institution for the Digital Economy. What do you do?
Yes. So actually, this is stemmed from my academic work on distributed intelligence systems, which happened in parallel with the development of blockchain. So I have a lot of publications about that, with applications from governance to distributed grid to intelligent robotics and automation to the autonomous cars and fleets of cars and how do you organize and self-organize them. So practically, from the top-down structures, like predatory structures in which we are still struggling, to the decentralized, self-organizing, agile frameworks that can actually make us all happy and work with the people and not with the incumbents.
Exactly.
This is what I do. And I took all that, let's say, more or less not only theoretical but also experimental work. I took it into the real world. So this happened with, several startups which originated in my lab. So I didn't have enough time for academic work, so I had to go into the real world with them.
Well, when we talk about academic work, you have a resume that is this long. I mean, it just keeps going and going.
50 pages.
50 some odd pages of resume. So you've worked in a lot of interesting things, including robotics. Talk about robotics a little bit and what you've done in robotics.
No, absolutely. So I've done my PhD in automation and robotics. And so robotics per se is not a big deal today. Now they call it RPAs, robotics process automations. In the time when I was doing my PhD, it was reduced to the factory floor and the machines and the robotic arms with which you assemble. For example, we revolutionized the Daimler with distributed automation, because on the factory floor, when you receive a plan of a car or an order for many cars, if a more urgent order comes, if it is not distributed, if it is a centralized system, you cannot actually accommodate new orders. So we had to distribute manufacturing. So from distributed manufacturing now, and controlling and not controlling but decentralizing that, we moved into decentralizing the governance and decentralizing society. From there, I did research and I held the Canada Research Chair in e-society. So society and how do we enable communities to self-organize with their own currencies, community currencies. So actually this is the essence of changing the monetary system today, because the Bretton Woods system with its institutions are outdated. So community currencies, cryptocurrencies being a mechanism and that fuels community currencies, are our only chance and escape from the flawed monetary systems that plagues us with recession after recession. So, decentralization from manufacturing to the financial system, can help our lives a lot. Well, at different scales.
You live and work in Washington, D.C., so
now, yes.
You know that the system is stacked up against you and what you're trying to do. The banks and the people behind the banks have a lot of interest in not making this happen. So what do you say to those people?
Definitely, and it is indeed the banks have the interest to not make this happen. However, they are trying to use the crypto innovations to their advantage, obviously, yes, and to oil their systems to run faster and so on and better. Of course, it will not be for we the people. So, for example, JP coin, pegged to the US dollar, can take over the world and spread. And then they can just simply unpeg it from the US dollar, and we have now a corporation which plays by the central bank playbook. So the same with Libra, unfortunately.
Right.
Yes, for now at least, whatever basket of currencies they have, they can simply throw that away and say, okay, now trust us. So the problem is that the institutions that create money, they have lost their legitimacy, and we do not trust them anymore. So who is making the money is the question. So therefore, I do not know if your listeners are aware with the work of Bernard Lietaer, who wrote The Future of Money. He is actually the mastermind behind the euro, but they did not design the euro as he suggested. So he proposes community currencies to actually replace the current financial system. Your question maybe was referring to the US in particular. Of course, we are, we the people, yes, I think have enough complaints that we direct to the powers that are there. However, I believe, like most of us crypto anarchists, if I may, that the future belongs to separating money from state and to actually find a way to empower the people with money. So to separate the way in which we, the people, are making and are paying for the rich to get richer, and instead to get what we merit, so a meritocracy. This is what I believe that the crypto economics is about, and that is what I want to see happen.
And your movement, the work that you're doing right now,
yes,
is trying to do that in the legislative area?
I will give you an example. The work which I'm doing, and I'm a technologist, again, let's not forget,
right.
I don't make the rules, I break the rules. So yes, I am on, and I worked on the Congressional Blockchain Caucus, I contributed to their reports. They read them and then they forget them. Okay,
right.
Let's hope this is going to change. However, for right now, what I'm doing is I am helping decentralization, for example, to give people of California a choice to step off their power provider, their energy provider,
right,
which is keeping them in darkness without a choice. And they do not know that actually we can press the restart button of energy, that we can actually have the choice to switch off from there and as well as from the fossil fuel energy providers, or stay with them. We have the choice,
right,
and move into renewables. And so restartenergy.io is a company which I work with,
right,
and they are creating a marketplace for energy. So energy as currency, data as currency. So these are transformations which can enable us to see the dream faster. And if you want, I can elaborate on data as currency as well.
Go ahead. This is very, very interesting. Quite the education.
Yes. So let me finish with the energy as currency first. So the idea is that you will be part of a marketplace that is connected to several energy providers, as well as with your neighbors who are producing energy in their homes. And then you can exchange energy with each other, or you can choose your energy provider. Doesn't matter. So you have the freedom. This will solve a lot of problems. Of course, if you are ethically inclined, as I am, you may choose the renewable energy providers, and in this way, the other ones will be seamlessly dislocated. Like there was a speaker who was seeing already the banks becoming malls because now they are useless. With regard to the data as currency, this is also a very important thing. Because for now, what we are doing with our data, we are enriching in the paradigm of data as the new oil. We are enriching the centralized corporations, the big corporations, with our information, as well as helping governments to use our information in many ways in which we may not consider ethical. So on the other side, with the blockchain, we can now be the masters of our data, and we can have our data and choose to give it to those causes in which we believe, and be rewarded for that. So that is now data as currency. It is a data which gives the wealth to we, the people.
To the people.
Who I am dedicated
You're part
to.
of the people. You're dedicated to the
I'm
people.
part, but also I'm dedicated. My work is dedicated to the people. Yes.
You know, somebody, you have a PhD in
robotics and automation from Germany.
From Germany.
Doctor engineering, which gives me a job anywhere I want to go if I want a
Doctor of engineering.
job. Yes.
It takes a lot of drive to be like that. What is the motivation behind, you are so full of energy and you are so full of information and you just push it out there all over the place. Matter of fact, we're going to cut short in a second because you're on another panel right after this interview.
On the autonomous car panels. So it's going to be exciting.
On the Atmos cars that we see running around Las Vegas.
When you will see the fleet of cars.
Yes, running around Las Vegas.
Yes.
So what's the driving force behind you?
Yes. So it is this drive towards decentralization, and I will sum it up with a very little story. We wrote a book called From Bitcoin to Burning Man and Beyond. And what is behind that is that we see the desert and cyberspace as sandboxes for experimentation.
Right.
If we are to start it all over again, how would we do it better? I mean, we kind of, started to go into a wrong direction. Progress means moving forward, but it doesn't tell you about the direction. Well, we have to steer, and we have an opportunity to steer the direction. And this is what drives me, that now I have a means with the cryptocurrency, with the decentralization that is happening in the world, to actually do it better. And we may not need to go only to Burning Man to really feel that we are in a world which we want and which is based on 10 principles that we believe in and that are done and that work for we the people. In my work in cyberspace, yes, with intelligent software agents, I have done experiments in governance, at least in cyberspace. And then we came up with the same principles as the Burning Man people came up with. So it turns out that there are principles that can work for we the people. You can find them in our book From Bitcoin to Burning Man and Beyond.
Well, and we will have a link. Is that book available on Amazon?
Yes, it is on Amazon. It is also on my website, which is theimpactinstitute.org. The Impact Institute in one word. theimpactinstitute.org.
And that will be a link right below us on this, as well as a link to your book. So, just fascinating stuff. Now, before I let you go, I know you got your panel coming up. Let's talk. What are you going to say about these cars, these adaptive cars? They're running around Las Vegas all over the place. Is that the future? Is the next car that I'm going to have just drive me around?
So yes, the future is, of course, not only autonomous cars, but fleets of autonomous cars plugged to the grid, who are going to pay me for giving them through the grid solar power from my solar panels. So the cars are paying us now. The cars pay each other. The cars become all this personalized data, or they can pay me for giving them data in order to control traffic better, in order to control the grid better, and to know when to plug to the grid. So cars will become, and of course, maybe sometimes more intelligent than us, but let's see what my panelists will have to say. This is my view.
There you go. So you know what? The future is now, and she, right here, Doctor, is the future, and you're part of it. You are shaping our future every single day. Definitely. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for hosting me.
I truly appreciate it. My name is Dan Hunt. We are live at World CryptoCon 2019, and Up Close and Personal is brought to you by Dunamis Global Tech, and they are powered to pay. Have a great rest of today, and an even better day tomorrow.